think should be working now. Good morning, good morning. Let's see how this works. I'm so bad at this now. I forget. Is the music too loud? I forgot how to use all of these apps. Better. Okay, should be good now. Good morning, how doing, Steve? You good? Mike. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's because my mic is really far. Let me see. Should be better now. Oh good. Another week of no jiu-jitsu. I'm actually missing the dummies now. When we actually train with the dummies, we're probably like, this isn't the same. But at least we have dummies. Well, before we used to miss the actual sparring and the thing, now I miss the dummies. So what do we have today? So we're still going on the half guard stuff. I didn't have a chance to do the octopus guard, which I'm quite excited about. Kiwi hasn't been, just her work's been crazy, so I haven't had a partner to film it with. I know I should visit Caesar underground sessions. I was actually, yeah. Brian should be like, you guys still training secretly there or no? I should be. There's only a few gyms there, isn't there? It's like 3 or 4. Yeah. Get copy striked. Alright, anyway. So going back to our lesson plan. We did the half guard lesson plan. We went through all of this. The smashed half guard, underhook cross face, seating style passes, and octopus style. So these should be all good. I'll quickly just show it to you guys for those who forgot. Got a standard elbow escape, standard move. Main thing is to control the elbow. Steve's favorite twist. This is lockdown. Jaws of life. I say jaws. It's jewels. Twist sweep. Can't get my elbow in. And twist to the Superman, which is our last little section. We talked about when to go for butterfly. So if you guys remember, is knee flared for the butterfly. And then last, the seating style pass, which is dropping onto your hip. This is the hard one to remember. Frame and get your head in the middle, like this. And octopus, which was supposed to be today's lesson, but I didn't manage to film anything, which is this position here. That's the pass. And the defense is usually, I need to refilm all of this, but there's a whole chain here that we're gonna do. It's quite a fun guard to play. But anyway, today I need to refilm the knee twist chain. So which is, I think this is our, did we go over this? I think we did. Old school half guard, butterfly, knee shield, hip clamp. I think I went for it, but I'll quickly go for it because it's quite nice. This is just showing you all the primary move sets of each style of guard, which are these 4 here from the half guard. We have the old school half guard, which is like about getting underhooks, going towards the back, wizard sweeps, and etc. We have butterfly half guard, which is mainly focuses like sweeping or transitions. I didn't show any transitions here, but you can use the butterfly to get into X guard and etc. We have knee shield half guard, which is kind of a defensive sort of attacking position. You can go for like arm locks and kimuras from here. And then hip clamp, which is the weirdest guard. Sweeps and submissions come from here. Here's our underhook moving set, which is our first chain that we usually learn. Look for the underhook and chase the back. This is the old school sweep, which is they whizzer you to stop the back take. So you look for those feet grab, try to get up on top. This sweep works really well, even at the higher level. And if they base out, you do your whizzer sweep. Perfect. This is probably one of my favorite sweeps, but I usually don't grab the leg. I think it's in today's lesson, so you'll be able to see it. Our butterfly half guard primary move set. This is where we get a butterfly hook, and usually is a butterfly sweep. Any sort. This is just the regular one, but there's so many different versions. Key variation. Standard butterfly sweep. This is so powerful, this sweep. Did I show you? Do you know who Adam Wachinski is? I don't know if I showed you clips of his fights. Let's see if we can quickly find one. Let's see. Oof, you're in for a treat. Should be a quick one. This is when I started believing in the sweep, because of this guy. Let's see. Here we go. I want to see a highlight though. He has a whole butterfly study on him, I think. Here it goes. Watch this one. But he's like I think he's heavyweight or light heavyweight, one of those weight classes. But he's famous for that exact sweep that I just did there. Obviously, he's got a lot more nice details. So and it's on YouTube, so you can watch what he actually teaches. But that's the sweep, right? But he does it to everyone, like even really high level people. Reaches for the belt. There's the butterfly sweep. And the great thing about the butterfly guard is every time he sweeps and he ends up in a really nice position. It's like a 4-minute video of him just doing butterfly sweeps to people. The thing that I like the most, that I learned from him, right, is you see this leg here. He does a little grapevine, which like holds people down in the half guard. And I'm really lazy at half guard because I just kind of leave my foot doing nothing, and people can just stand up and like get out of my half guard a lot of times. But once you start using this grapevine, it's really hard for them to stand up. I used to get flattened out a lot as well. It's part of the process. I also think he's like 6 foot as well, so I think like the taller you are, the better the sweep as well. But it has worked quite a bit for me. But you see, he always ends up in this like 3/4 mount position, which is like fantastic. But he always goes for the overhook. I always looked for the underhook before. And I realized the overhook is a lot more powerful. But yeah, but it's just literally 4 minutes of him sweeping people. That's Shanji Ribeiro. Shanji is like one of the hardest people in the world to sweep. He hasn't swept him yet. Maybe he doesn't sweep him on this one. 5 seconds. Doesn't look like it. Wait. That was close. Damn. But it's really cool. If you search up here, this is the video that's really good to watch. I'll link it. But it's a BJJ study on his butterfly guard. But it's really good. What's next? Knee shield, the half guard attacking base. So this knee shield is mostly the defensive one. This is the one that I play the most. This is the one that people stand up on me because I'm lazy with my legs. So usually this is the one where you look for your loop chokes, guillotines, arm bars, all sorts of attacks from there. It also connects to every single other version of the half guard, so it's just a neutral one. I wouldn't really call it a style, because you can do any of these moves from any of the other versions of the half guard. There's the Kimura trap system, which is used from the half guard. Again, I'm pretty sure there's a way of getting here from every single other version as well. Then hip clamp, this is the underused one, which is quite weird, but you get your cross of your feet quite deep, and then it just basically means they can't pressure you because it hurts the hip joint. You have to feel it to realize what it's like, but this is the normal hip clamp sweep, which is very painful when people do it to you, but it works really well. Again, you'll surprise a lot of people because not a lot of people play this kind of half guard. And then here's Greg Jones triangle. Greg Jones is a good hip clamp player. If you notice, his half guard is O hip clamp. And then the triangle setup, this is where people are pressuring him. He hugs the head, blocks the other hand. This is quite a nice move. I do use this one quite a bit. But yeah, a tip for top players: if someone's got a hip clamp on you, don't just pressure them, because you're usually helping them. And then today's class, quarter guard, this one here. This is probably, yeah, I forget about hip clamp all the time as well. Again, I think the taller you are, the better for this as well, because you need this shin to be right across the hip joint and this leg to come out. My knees hurt if I start using this for too long. And in today's class, one of my favorite guards, quarter guard, and then we're looking at deep, weight up, and reverse half guard. So quarter guard comes in, right? So I usually play it even when I go for these moves. So here, I look for my underhook, and I go to quarter guard straight away. Quarter guard just means her knee needs to come out through that gap. And you can force it, or sometimes they do it for you. A lot of people knee cut you, so that's the first way you generally get kind of stuck on it. They knee slice you like this. So instead of using the knee shield to stop it, as soon as they knee slice, you go straight for your quarter guard, which is this here. And then the main way to control people from quarter guard is the way you lock your feet. So you see her knee is kind of pointing down, while her foot is kind of hooking mine. And it's really important to get a big chunk of the heel like this, because the heel gets stuck on like your hamstring, and that's what stops them from kind of slicing through. And it's so powerful, and it's really annoying to pass. And then from here you can hug the leg, grab the gi, you can do lots of little styles, but the Lucas ledge sweep is just, you're gonna shrimp underneath like this. You will jack up their knee and twist it, then they're forced to get swept to the other side. Again, one of my favorite sweeps in jiu-jitsu. I'll show it one more time. Boom. Now, the reason I like this pass so much is usually you can get it against people who are like more of aggressive style jiu-jitsu. They're like aggressively trying to pass you, or they're like moving too much, or they're too fast. This slows down the fight and puts it like in your favor usually, because they have to deal with everything. Because if they just blast through, you kind of end up on their back. If they're trying to like rip their leg out, you can just come up behind them. But the usual move they do to prevent this is the back step, which is that. And they have to do it pretty early. If they do it quite late, you can just come up on top in most scenarios. And they're usually trying to kick the leg free from the half guard like that. So again, they're here, you do your back step, and they're trying to turn you into that direction so they can kick free. Good pass, very easy to kind of negate it. And that's our reverse half guard chain now. Always be ready for the back step. And again, if I was to refilm this, there's a lot of moves that you can do while they're back stepping here. You can take that back. There's a whole little sequence here. But this is reverse half guard. I'll probably do, let me just note it down. I'll probably do another lesson, because this one just shows you a little bit. After octopus guard, we'll do reverse half guard. And that will give you a nice chain. But reverse half guard has to be probably a lesson on its own, because there's so much information that you need from it. But the quick version is, you want to remain as flat as possible so that you don't get turned onto your side and get kicked out of the half guard. And then the leg position is really important. You can see she triangled the wrong way here. It's not the traditional way to triangle your legs, but it's the most effective as keeping the person from pulling you to your side, which is what you don't want. Which is, just to be clear, this is what you don't want. So here is the pass. Let's see. With Ruska, can we just do a little section on counters when they go for saddle? Yes. So that's why I'm like, it's really important to kind of, do a full lesson on reverse half guard if you're gonna play it, because it's so different in the gi to no gi, and it's so different in terms of defending leg locks and attacking. But here, that's the back step entry, right? And we don't know if the guy's going for leg locks or if he's going for passes. So your first stage here should be a chain before the guy lands, which is a lot of back takes and pummels with your legs and etc. But when they land, their hand position will kind of tell you what they're going for. If they're up here, they're usually going for passes. If this arm comes out and starts looking for the legs, they're generally attacking the legs. But a very easy way to stop them from doing anything is by hugging them, which should be your first move when they land, which is this bit. Hugging means that they're forced to pressure you instead of going for the legs. So it kind of slows them down and it keeps them in one place. And they kind of hug you back sometimes, trying to pressure you, which gives you this easy sweep here, big bridge, and gets on top. Now, since these are refilms anyway, I can show you these moves live. So the guy who's really good at reverse half guard is called Jake McKenzie, I think. BJJ. It's this guy here. Let's see if he has any reverse half guard moves. Just try to find it for you. He's like good at a lot of things, so I actually saw him once. Here we go. This is a good video to watch. And it's by Sweep King, so we won't get copyright strike. Perfect. Here we go. So again, it's a bit more effective in the gi, but he basically does the whole chain we're learning right now, right? First guy here on top, he goes for a knee slice. He goes straight into quarter guard there. See? He can't knee slice anymore, so he chooses to backstep. And just like the chain, you can see the guy on top is trying to pressure him. He's just holding on to his belt to keep him close. And you see his legs are faced that direction. Now they stay here for quite a while, so I'm gonna move on. Oliver doesn't like staying there, so he starts like to back away. You can see his arm kind of posting, and he's trying to get away from him to create a bit more space. But the guy on the bottom, he just keeps pulling him down the whole time. He does a cheeky little loop of the arm here, which he teaches how to do on his DVD. It's quite cool. But you can see he's in like no rush. Every time he tries to take this arm out, one of his moves to bring his arm to that side, he just pulls him back aggressively. And then the actual sweep, here it comes, there it is. Here's the sweep. Whenever he feels like all of the guys on top weight is on top of him, he does a massive bridge. So there. Whenever he's ready, big bridge, comes on top. And he lands in like a perfect leg weave position. And he almost like ends up in half guard, gets a pass. He gets swept at the end, I think. And we get to see the same chain again. So again, we're here. He knee slices. He gets the underhook. He backsteps. Same chain. He keeps hugging him. Guy on top's trying to get away. Goes for a choke here. Legs are facing the other direction. Now, last time he got swept because he was hugging his head. So this time he's like pressuring his throat with a grip. And then the main things is he always wants to break this leg control grip here, because otherwise that can stop the bridge. This is a good pass he goes for. But you can see that the guy is just constantly stuck in his guard. Here he gets caught in quarter mount, and then he just goes to deep half from there. But that's basically the full chain there. The guy goes for a knee cut, which is this. He gets the underhook. The guy on the bottom has to backstep to avoid it. And then he's just usually setting up his grips, taking his time until he can do his move. But like I said, we'll learn it perfectly another time. But here's the traditional bridge. Backstep. And this is the simple version, which is just you hug them and you do a bridge to get on top. But I highly suggest people learning reverse half guard. In no-gi is a bit harder, but in the gi, I think it's one of the most underrated guards that no one uses. 3/4 mount underhook counter. Let's see what this is. I go for knee slice. Oh yes. So this is the only danger about our quarter guard. It's where they pick up their knee and they drive to the other side. And it's a good time for us to go to deep half. So as he goes up, spin, deep half. I'm sure Caesar teaches you guys a lot of deep half. It's one of his favorites. So you guys should know your deep half chain by now, right? What do I show from deep half here? So the basic chain I show is deep half to Homer. Let me see what this is. What's your usual sweeps, Steve, from deep half? I kind of have 4 different styles of deep half, but I usually only use it in the gi as well. Homer. I'm guessing the other one's the fiery bridge. Yeah. I figured. That is the most famous one. So deep half Homer, this is a really good one. Push, get your knee up. This is a scary sweep, man. Especially for strong big guys. With balance, let's go to a single leg and switching back to Homer. Yeah, that's a good combo. Yeah, this becomes quite an easy single leg. I started playing when we were rolling. Have you heard of armpit deep half? It's quite a good one. So, you know the hand that we usually grab the hip for the Homer sweep? Here. So this hand here. We usually hold on to the hip, right? In the gi, you can reach underneath. Imagine this is Kirsten's gi here, right? And then this is the lapel. You can reach underneath, in between the gi. So through this is the 2 gis, right? The 2 collars there. You can go through the collar and grab a really strong grip under their armpit, but with your thumb out, obviously, into the collar. And it gives you such a good pull. It's one of the strongest pull you can have. So I stopped grabbing onto the hip and I always switch to this grip underneath here. And you can literally like pull the shoulder down, and it gives you a way easier sweep than pulling on the hip. But it made a massive difference. Of course it doesn't work in no gi, but in the gi it makes like the deep half homer almost unstoppable. And then same thing here, you do the backdoor. It's even better for this as well, because right now you have to like change into a single and chase them, right? With the armpit grip, because you have a grip under the armpit here, you push their arm and they'll be facing that direction there the whole time. So they won't be able to turn it into you like this. But yeah, try it when we get back. It's a really good move. It's like Kayotera technique, and it works fantastic. And then this one's the one I use for mostly no-gi, which is the wader, because it leads to a lot of leg locks. You go here, and from here you can make a whole chain out of this wader guard. So many moves. I never use this sweep. I don't even know why I showed it, but it's the traditional sweep from the wader guard, which is just get up on top. I don't even remember the last time I used the sweep. So from here I usually just look for leg locks, and use it for leg locks or back takes. Everyone usually bases forward to avoid the sweep, and that's a good time to get behind them, take the back, or very complicated chain here where you bring your knee through this gap and start doing a lot of pummeling business. But that's your wader guard. It's probably too complicated for me to do a lesson plan on, because there's a lot of like legs involved. But I'll write a note down to see if I can show it somehow. But in conclusion, this whole lesson was just to know which guards to use. To be honest, this was just the intro to like deep half, wader, and reverse half guard, and when to use them. And quarter guard, when they're knee slicing, that's a great time. Boom. When they back step, it's reverse half guard time, which is this. And when they go to mount you, that's a good time to go to deep half. Which is that. So they try to mount you, spin underneath, deep half. Like that. Now there's ways to keep people in all of these positions. For example, if I was to doing this is my primary one, right? So no matter what, even if they backstep, even if they try to mount you, I'm gonna find a way to keep them in this guard. So here, I think this is the strongest. So to prevent the backstep, if I can collapse this knee, let me see if she's gonna do it. Yeah, there. If I can collapse this knee, if they backstep, that's a guaranteed sweep. Okay? So if you guys remember this, it makes your life a lot easier. So if you can collapse the knee, that's a guaranteed sweep for you, even if they backstep. So the only time they are going to be able to backstep is if that leg is straight up like this. Like that. Even then, right, you can still hug the leg like this. So halfway through their back step, if you can pull this knee back in, you can negate their back step. So that's my second kind of way to keep them in the position I want, which is the knee twist. So my second move actually here in real life would be to pull this knee while he's in the air to force him back into this position. And then I'll go for my sweep. And then to stop the sweep, the only way they can stop it now if their knees are collapsed is to sit on their heel and pull all the way back to this side. Then let's see if Steve can solve this question. What's my next move if they sit back on their heel? Not letting me sweep them. It's a hard one. He goes back to our old school chain. That is a good one as well. I will accept that. Yeah. So right, you kick the back to go to the back normally, right? You kick them and then you come up on top. But yeah, your next move is if they sit their weight all the way back, you just come up with your underhook and you chase their back. So you can knee them in the butt if you want. I'd usually stay with the knee twist because it gives me the most control, but you can still knee them. But yeah, the change is why I like it is because there's an answer to everything. So, like I said, the knee cut, you get the quarter guard. You know they're gonna backstep. Most people backstep, okay? So do your best to collapse this knee. And if you don't, still try to keep a hold of that leg to stop the back steps from happening. And worst case scenario, if they do back step, you end up in reverse half guard. And once we do our reverse half guard lesson, you'll be able to know everything. Any idea to force their knee down? Sometimes they sit high stance strong. Yeah, usually sometimes the leg will be too far, so you'll be here, right? If you can get this leg, if you can get a deep hug like this, it's really easy to collapse it. You'll be able to do it every single time. The problem is, like you said, if they sit and bring that leg really far away like this, and then it depends if you have the underhook or not, or if they're sitting on your thigh. If you have the underhook, they're still in a bad spot, so you can do little things to kind of make them base. The knee in the butt is a good one, but again, keep the quarter guard, don't come up, just use the knee on the butt to shuffle them forward. If not, you're just gonna stay with your underhook and kind of chill there for a bit and kind of inchworm your way underneath them. But as they backstep, that should give you a chance to grab it. But you're not in a bad spot if you can't catch the leg, so don't worry too much about it. It is what you're looking for, but if you can't get it, you're just going to accept the underhook and accept the backstep. Cool? So here, the leg is, if it's too far or I can't get the collapse, you're just going to be in this position. And hopefully you know how to deal with it. The one danger thing that I should mention is whenever you're doing these moves, you see this arm here, try to always stay with your elbows close to your body like this. Because what can happen is, especially in the gi, people can grab your sleeve and pull it up. And then it's really annoying to do any of your moves. It's really annoying to hug the leg and to do most of your moves. So you see how she's right underneath me? So it makes it harder for me to reach for her sleeve Because obviously I have to reach underneath my legs there to reach for this sleeve, and that would put me off balance to that side. So always stay really close to that knee there, and you should be good. I used to get caught out on that a lot. And then the last one, which is this one. And if you're good at knee twist, you'll never have to use this, to be honest, where the knee goes up. The only reason the knee went up is because you probably weren't doing a good job with your bind of the leg here, this bit. But if you do a very good job keeping the leg caught, they shouldn't be able to do this. But if they do manage, that's deep half. And then our deep half chain, of course, homo sweep, backdoor, or our waiter guard. Any questions or anything you want me to go over? Should be, again, like this is the main bit here. But we will do hopefully we'll do a lesson before we get back to normal on reverse half guard and the octopus. And then that will probably be the full half guard chain done. Because deep half, that one's kind of regular. There's only a few moves. Waiter is another one I want to do, probably. But that would be last. So I think I might do reverse half guard next, then octopus, then waiter. Okay, and I think that's it for today. Any questions? Now's the time. Let's see if I missed anything out. Perfect. That's good. It's quite good going back on these, because you kind of forget most of the moves, don't you? There should be no copyright strike on this one now. Perfect. Let me save this. This is probably the best chain to go over as well, because it's probably one of the easiest ones to remember, because everything fits nicely. I think the other lesson plans, they're kind of like all kind of just moves, while this one is like a whole system, and it's just nice to, it's a nice lesson to go over. Alright, Steve. Crab guard, yes. Did we do it? Well, I don't even remember where I added crab guard. Crab guard is just one of those random guards. Like, to put it in the system, it would be different. Yeah, it kind of died out on me. I used it a lot when I was training for Polaris. That was my number one guard. I wanted to use in Polaris so badly. I managed to get it once in the fight, but I couldn't do any of the moves I was practicing. I still use it. I was using it a lot in Nogi. In Nogi, I think it's really good. And then I kind of forgot about it, because I was doing a lot of open guard in the gi. And then I found out about knee twist. So the knee twist kind of took over the crab guard. But I should go back to it one day. Awesome. Alright, I'll leave you to it. There's no conditioning classes anymore, is there? The knee twist, I think, is like the most powerful guard in jiu-jitsu, sometimes in the gi. Alright, I need to go get some breakfast now. I'll see you guys next week, I think. Yes, next week, Monday. and lesson plans should be up on YouTube. So have a great weekend. Take care.